studios in New York City. This is Charlie Rose.
Mike Myers is here. He first came to our attention in 1989 as a cast member on Saturday Night Live. He created such memorable sketches as Sprockets, Coffee Talk, and Wayne's World, which he turned into a $300 million franchise. In 1997, in a tribute to his father, he created Austin Powers, the International Man of Mystery. The sequel is The Spy Who Shagged Me, and here is the trailer.
I put the gar in Swinger, baby, yeah!
Austin Powers
Crazy, baby, yeah!
is back
Yeah, baby, yeah!
with the help of the beautiful Felicity Shagwell.
How does that feel, baby?
Lower.
How does that feel, baby?
In a thrilling adventure of intrigue, treachery, and love. But Dr. Evil is back, and more evil than ever.
Gonna cry, huh? Oh, yeah. I'm going to go back to the 60s and steal Austin Powers' mojo. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to travel through time. I bid you adieu.
A bombshell with a secret. Robin Swallows.
Swallows. That's an interesting name.
Maiden name Spitz.
Well, which is it, baby? Spitz or swallows?
Dr. Evil, we began a program to clone you. He is exactly like you in every way. 1/8 your size.
I shall call him Mini-Me.
Mini-Me. Something small, something deadly. Mike Myers. Mike Myers.
What are you, some kind of freak?
You mother...
Heather Graham.
Move over, Rover. This chick is taking over.
And Mike Myers
Surprise, surprise!
in the biggest Austin Powers adventure yet. Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me.
Great plan, Einstein.
All right, zip it.
You can't. Zip. It's simple.
Subtitle. Zip it.
From this. You know.
I am pleased to have Mike Myers on this program. Welcome.
Thank you.
There's a lot of attention for this,
Yes,
and it couldn't be better.
I'm very pleased with that.
How is it different than the first?
The movie?
Yeah.
The movie is, in the first movie, Austin Powers was unthawed from the 60s. He had had himself cryogenically frozen because his nemesis, Dr. Evil, had been cryogenically frozen. And he was unfrozen in the 90s because his nemesis, Dr. Evil, had been unfrozen in the 90s. And so he was kind of a sexual moray out of water. Of course, moray means both norm and eel. And in this one, he has gone back to the 60s because Dr. Evil has gone back to the 60s, and Dr. Evil has stolen his mojo, which is his life essence. His, it's what gives him his abilities as a spy and his abilities with the ladies, and it's what the French call a certain, I don't know what.
You don't know what?
No, I don't. Or je ne sais quoi, perhaps.
So he goes back to the 60s looking for it.
Looking for...
Rediscovering his mojo.
Yes, indeed.
And Dr. Evil is there to make matters more complicated.
Yes, he has stolen his mojo and has, once again, threatened to destroy the world unless he's paid a whole bunch of money.
Yeah. And we have new characters in this one?
Yes, we do.
And some of the old characters, Dr. Evil included.
And some of the old ones, yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil has a new henchman, Fat Bastard, who is a 300-pound Scotsman who was the incorrect weight for his height, and he was born out of wedlock, which is why he's Fat Bastard.
Right.
And we also have Dr. Evil had himself cloned in the form of Mini-Me, who is a replica of himself, 1/8 his size. And then, of course, Austin, the real thing of the movie is about true love. That's really what the movie is about. The first one was, will, I guess, lust win over true love? And in the end, true love wins. And this one, he has his heart broken, and he has to discover true love again, despite the temptations of the 60s and the fact that his heart is broken.
All of this,
yes,
the adventures of Austin Powers, goes back, according to what I've read about you.
It's all lies.
So I can dismiss
I free associate insanely. I just, whatever comes into my head, it makes no sense. The Christmas babies tell me this.
Okay, but does any of this have anything to do, the fact that there is an Austin Powers, which is a huge movie character, we think, who will live on forever and ever and ever and ever, have anything to do with you watching spy movies with your dad when you were growing up in Canada?
It has everything to do with that. There's no one more English than an Englishman who no longer lives in England. And Canada is not like the United States. Canada is not a melting pot, it's a salad bowl. Yeah. There is no Seventh Fleet. I mean, when's the last time you went to get, went out for Canadian? It's a very odd place.
Yes,
and people tend to, they're not American, they're not English, and they're not the country that their parents were born in. And so each individual person's house tends to be a shrine to the homeland, and my house was no different. So I would be literally woken up in the middle of the night, me and my brothers.
Like at 12 or 1 o'clock?
12 or 1 o'clock, and we would watch, which is ironic for me, we would watch PBS to watch Benny Hill. Yeah. Which is, I just love that anything English in America is put into the, ladies and gentlemen, Benny Hill.
Yes.
And, James Bond was huge because he was British. God. The Matt Helm was big because it was based on something British. Ultimately.
Peter Sellers, probably.
Peter Sellers was a god in our house. Even back to the Goon Show, you could get the Goon Show, radio show, on the CBC.
One of the great things about your dad that I read is that he wanted nobody in the house that wasn't funny.
Yes.
If you brought a friend home who wasn't funny, he said,
he's not bloody funny. But I'm like, you know what I mean? But Dad, he's a great guy. He's a humanitarian.
But he's not funny.
He helps the sick. Yeah, great. He's not funny. On your bike. Right.
Out of here.
That's right. And
my son only associates with funny people.
He only liked funny people. Sense of humor. My dad had three things that I think are undervalued but are genius, in my opinion, and I've grown up aspiring to, and that is it's all going to work out. That's a big thing, which is a very comforting thing. Let's go have fun. And if you were to write a book about himself, it would be called In Praise of Silly. He thought that there's absolutely no reason why an adult should stop being silly. And so he was a very, very silly
dad. I agree with all three, but he also said something else that I agree with. I don't define myself by my job.
That is another thing that my father, I'm not my job, is absolutely something he would say constantly. And he could not understand North Americans who would ask him what he did for a living. He thought that was like saying, "Can I see your stool?" or something.
So he'd make up things.
Yeah, all the time. My dad, what do you do? I played the bongo drums on Mission Impossible. I'm the ambassador to Guatemala. You know what I mean?
And people would take him seriously.
Yeah, and then it would be an hour-long improv of him having to back up that hideous lie.
Now, was he a frustrated actor, though, in a sense? Or
well, my parents met in amateur dramatics, which is a uniquely British thing. My mom got a gold medal from Lambda in 1954 in England, and then went into amateur dramatics and met my father. But, he was just really funny. I mean, for example, so British. He hated the Hawaiians because they killed Captain Cook. It's true. I said, "Dad, it was the 1700s. You're still holding a grudge." "I don't care. Bloody murdered him in his sleep. Bloody murdered him." And he'd be like, "Take it easy." And it's like, "What's that bloody smell?" "It's bloody pineapple. I won't have it in the house." Bloody pineapple. "Oh, go and eat poi, why don't you turncoat?" So I only went to Hawaii after my father had passed away because of the torture. I couldn't torture him.
It would have been an insult to him to have gone while he was alive.
He just took all of those things very, very personally. When Canada changed the flag in 1964, it used to have the Union Jack, and it was the red ensign. It used to have a Union Jack in the top left-hand corner, and it was just a dagger in his back. Pearson, I think it was Pearson, won the Nobel Peace Prize because of the Suez Crisis.
Right.
And it's like, "On bloody Britain's back, soft Johnny English," and you just explode. That's the other thing too. That's
well, then
no sense of occasion, my father.
Why did he leave Liverpool to go to Was it Montreal?
To Toronto.
Yeah. Why did he leave Liverpool?
Because I think, you know, England won the war and lost the peace. And I think, you know, I think he wanted to make a lot of money and go back and be a publican, you know, in a pub in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And, you know, there is, I think he just wanted to make money.
Did he live to see you, the success
This
you were
isn't turning Barbara Walters, is it? 'Cause
No,
I can cry like that.
No,
I'm so
I
tired.
don't want you to do that. I'm going to move it. I'm aware of that. Too. I know how to do that. Did he live to see Saturday Night Live?
No, he didn't live to see any of it. Proportionate to how well my career went is proportionate to how his health deteriorated. So he didn't get to see my wife. He, you know, it was pretty horrendous. It was a horrible, horrible time with the entire world looking at you like you've won the lottery. Yeah. And it was a horrendously awful time. And through Austin Powers, I've been able to sort of, I don't know, give some sort of poetry or meaning, I guess, and some sort of silliness, you know.
In memory of him.
In memory, without question. He would have loved this movie. He loved, and it's such an odd combo, my father, because he loved, you know, like Jonathan Miller and the Beyond the Fringe.
Yes.
As much as he loved Naughty Seaside postcards. You know, those things where it's like, you know, the lady comes into a store as a Scotsman with red hair, wearing a kilt, and of course Scotsmen wear natrues. And he's up a ladder with this thing called ginger nuts, this type of cereal, and the lady looks up and says, "What lovely ginger nuts you have, Mr. McTavish." That sort of joke would send my father in hysterics.
It'd be great.
As would the Python sketch with the All England Summarizing Proust competition. And that's the thing about Britain that is amazing, is there is a very wide band of what they'll consider comedic, from the lofty to the profane, you know, from the juxtaposition of two unlike objects and then a guy falling in mud.
I mean, do you look back at this direct and strong link between who your dad was and his attitude and his obsession and his love of humor?
Yes.
And the fact that you are funny?
Yes, except I wasn't funny for the longest time. That was a big problem.
And a big disappointment to him.
Oh, huge disappointment. My brothers are hilarious and started out hilarious out of the gate.
Yeah.
And I would try
You were a slow start.
Oh, my God. And it would be like, my mom would say, "Michael, you're not funny. Don't even try. It's sad now. It's pathetic. You're unfunny. You know how there's funny people? You're not one of them. You're anti-funny. All right, everyone in the house, step forward who's funny. Not so fast, Michael." That was my existence.
I don't believe that.
It's true.
Is that true?
And I remember my
You'd
first
say,
laugh.
Michael?
Yes.
What does this do to your self-esteem?
I have none. Is that not clear? Are you not looking at somebody who is just an open wound? Do you have no sense of anyone's pain?
No.
Do you have a heart?
Yes, but I don't get your pain.
Oh, I have nothing but pain.
Is that right?
What do you think I'm out there with the bad teeth and the hairy chest? It's there for you all to see.
Is that what this is about?
That is the black box of my soul.
Is that what we're just saying? This is a man in search of what?
I guess my parents' approval.
Approval.
Yes.
It is that serious, isn't it? In some way, there.
Without question.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't want your mother to say, "Step forward, Michael, you're funny. Step forward."
My mom, I do not believe my mom to this day thinks I'm at all funny.
And she doesn't think it? She wouldn't watch Austin Powers
She's
and
pleased
say...
for my success, and she'll leave it at that.
She's glad for her grandchildren that you were doing well. Otherwise...
I have a nice job with no heavy lifting. Leave it at that. Don't probe. You don't want to know. Don't open that door.
And don't stop running, because it may be...
It
may start.
I've literally had the "it's a short ride, save your money" conversation with my mother.
Are you serious? She said to you what? Just get it all now, because it may be over tomorrow.
It's little things like, "Do you invest well?" It's like, "Yeah." "Okay, good."
Good.
And she still refers to me getting a wage packet, which is the amazing thing. Real turn to this in. Yes. It's like, I don't get a wage packet. I don't take my lunch in a sack.
Oh, man. Listen, I'm going to give you the best idea of your life. Ready?
Yes.
Do something about your family.
Well, in essence, I have.
You know, I know Austin Powers is in part that, but I mean, the whole family thing sounds so great.
Well, I was able to do a little bit of that in So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the public insanity. My parents they were just certifiable.
Certifiable.
Oh, my mom is nutty as the day is long. She has no internal monologue. She says anything that pops into her head.
Yeah, you write all of this?
I co-wrote this with Michael McCullers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, the first one I wrote by myself.
Yeah.
There's always a lot.
So why'd you need a co-writer for this one?
Because I met him, and he's hilarious. And
So he made you fun of you.
Yeah. He was a writer on Saturday Night Live, and I just thought, writing is hard. It's horrible. You feel like the kid with asthma and all your friends are playing hockey.
Yeah, you got to sit there.
Oh, it's hideous. That blank page just mocks you openly. So if you're there with somebody funny, it's fun. And so the whole experience has been very fun. I mean, I've written a lot with my wife. There's a lot of my wife's comedy in this as well. She's very, very funny. So I've always written with somebody.
All right, take a look at this. This is another clip from The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you. I'm bigger than you. I'm higher in the food chain. Get in my belly. Come on. You're lucky, wee man.
Can I have a hug?
Dr. Evil, let me make you a deal, all right? You get the motor, you keep your money, and I'll get your baby. Right. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs.
Did you have any trepidation about a sequel?
No.
None. It was like a no-brainer.
No, the sense of it was that Jay Roach, the director, created such a fun world, and I just really wanted to go back, and there was more stuff to do in the fun world. And we sort of approached it kind of like how the Pink Panthers and the James Bond, as long as there was another case, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's sort of the
This could go on forever.
If somebody told me that every second movie I had to do, first of all, if somebody told me I get to do more movies, I'd be happy. But if they told me that every second movie was an Austin Powers movie, I'd be very happy.
You would?
Oh, my God,
Because they're the most fun things to do.
It is, it's not work. It's like a 2-month party.
Would you rather do something like Saturday Night Live or something like doing your own movie or something like, anything else? What compares with making movies for you?
What compares?
Or what's better? In terms of entertainment, not in terms of your family life.
Oh, in terms of entertainment? Well, I'd say making movies, making Austin Powers movies. Jay's a really great director.
Right.
The world that he creates is very, very fun. 40% of the movie is improvised.
40%?
Yeah. The movie
So you have like a skeleton script and then...
Well, you have a script, and we shoot as many takes as we feel that we have of the script, and then we just do things then we just have fun. And then we just sort of play around.
But help me out on this, because I want to... This is where Austin meets one of the models, Ivana Humpalot,
yes.
Which is a great title, the name.
In the Bond tradition.
It certainly is. Now, do we need to set this up? Is there anything we need to say about
God only knows at this point.
God doesn't know, but we'll try.
I don't even know if it's going to be from my movie.
I don't either. Roll tape. Let's hope this comes from Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
Yes, here it is.
Who are you, baby?
Ivana Humpalot.
Excuse me?
Ivana Humpalot.
And I've on a toilet made out of solid gold, but it's just not in the cards now, is it?
Let me just come to one other business about the notion. Is there anything about Canada that you think makes you and Martin and so many people come out of there who are so funny?
Well, thank you. Well, I feel that I think that if anything that my Canadianness has, we're a spectator nation. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We look at the rest of the world and go, wow.
And because you're an observer, you might see the humor in something that other people are just living it and might not take notice.
Yeah, we don't have hardly any totem and taboo. When we look at you guys, I think Dennis Miller said that Canada's an odd country because in America, if you slightly defile the flag, you're in trouble. In Canada, you could nod it and run it through your colon and no one would mind. There's just something about, and that's a visual that I'm going to leave you. That's my gift to you. I did mention Dennis Miller said that.
Yes, you did. So there will be no one here to arrest you in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, but there is sort of there's no totem and taboo. I'm very little, and so whenever anyone has a strong opinion about anything, we just find it outrageously funny. The other thing, too, is that I grew up with the Martin Shorts and the other Canadian comedians. So I had heroes who said that it's quite possible to come from Canada and be a comedian. As I felt growing up that it was quite possible to grow up in Canada and be a hockey player, and it's quite possible to grow up in Canada and work in a gypsum mine. So
yes, take your
all
choice.
of these things were,
take your choice.
You know, I leave that up to you. What do you think I did right?
I leave that up to you. I want to talk about this one thing which fascinates me. It is that after the success that you had, you took time off.
Yeah, it's after my father's death.
Was that when it was?
Yeah. My father, it's the oddest thing. My father died in November of '91. And then he died on the Thursday. My mom, the actress that she is, said, you have to do the show. I did this show on Saturday Night Live on the Saturday. So it's the Thursday, did the show on the Saturday. My father was cremated. We had a ceremony on the Monday. Then the first preview of Wayne's World was on the Thursday. And then shortly after that, Wayne's World came out. My life exploded. The last show of Saturday Night Live of that season was in May. The next day, I went to Liverpool and spread my father's ashes on the Mersey in Liverpool. And then 2 weeks after that, I started a movie. And then I did another season. And then my heart was broken. I was in very much in What's It All About, Alfie period of my life. And the thing that was very cool about my father is I would have experiences in my life, and they were kind of like casino chips. They were real, but they didn't really happen till I could tell my father, who just, I don't know if he lived for me and my brothers, but he certainly made things real. And so when he was a cashier window of these chips, if you will.
Would confirm and authenticate your experience.
Well, we'd always go up every Sunday. I went and had dinner and laundry. In Canada, we have a thing called Hockey Night in Canada. We used to call it Laundry Night in Canada up at my parents' house. And we would just talk about stuff, and it would confirm stuff. And then as he started to get Alzheimer's, he started to lose his personality. There was this odd, and then I was on Saturday Night Live, there's just this odd, like having chips and nowhere to cash them in for. And it just really, I'd saved my money, taking my mom's advice, and I knew I could take time off, so I took 1.5 years off. And in that time, I decided, and I got offered tons of stuff. It was really, actually, it's amazing when you take yourself out of things, how you attract.
If you're unavailable, the demand goes up.
Yeah, and what happened was nothing spoke to my heart. Things that are really good and people you've seen and stuff, but nothing that spoke to my heart. And this spoke to my heart, Austin Powers. And then I did that.
But the time off, it was also part of family, too. Didn't you want to spend some time with your family?
Well, that's what it's all about. That's what I did. I went to
play
Liverpool.
a little hockey on the side?
I took power skating. My parents didn't put us into hockey. I don't think they understood it, or they were afraid of it. And it's expensive, too, and they were these little Liverpool immigrants. And so I took power skating lessons from 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock every Wednesday. And then I would play in 3 other pickup games. I read books. I reread every Kurt Vonnegut book except for 5 of them. I read biography of Orson Welles written by Simon Callow. Right. Just all these books. And then I went to the theater in New York. And I went to the theater in London. And I did all these things that I just hadn't done for 4 years.
And the net result of all that was?
Austin Powers. And
no, but I mean, not just Austin Powers, but I mean, in a sense, you felt more complete, you felt more whole.
Absolutely. What it taught me is you can't make any plans.
Yeah.
That there are forces much larger than you. If I could have made plans, my dad would be alive. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you get out of the planning business, and you get into the just doing things from your heart. And just, you can only do stuff that speaks to your heart. And you just... got to get out of that stuff. Got to make this happen, and you got to get more into the allowing. Are you familiar with Del Close? He was one of the founding members of Second City in 1959.
I think I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar.
Yeah, he just passed away recently.
Yeah,
and he is virtually the Stanislavski of improvisational comedy. Mm-hmm. He worked with Alan Arkin, Elaine May, Mike Nichols, that whole crew. And he became quite a theorist, not only of improvisation, but of the whole artistic process. And he always spoke of many things, but that in India, the master weavers of the carpets don't do the weaving anymore. They oversee the weavers of the weaving of the students. And he would say that the master weaver incorporates the mistakes of the students into the grand design. So they make a mistake in the top left-hand corner, you repeat it in the bottom right-hand corner, and it's part of the whole thing. And you need time to think about those things. You need perspective, and you need to get back into heart logic and get out of worldly logic. I don't even know what that means. So, just worldly logic.
It also brings you to a better place to enjoy the whole process.
Well, I've enjoyed every part of this, and I've done something now that has, I mean, everything I've done has personal meaning, but I've done something now that I can actually connect right to my heart, and so everything now is a labor of love and not a labor of pressure or go. Strike while the fire is hot and all that crap. That actually doesn't mean anything.
Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Come back anytime, as soon as you want to. You are a fascinating, really, I mean, it's great to have you.
Oh, thanks so much. Thank you.
I enjoyed it very much. I'm a late comer to appreciating you, and I say that to a lot of people, and thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.